Fluctuations in global energy prices putting serious pressures on governments across the Southeast Asian region in how to import and pay for fuel costs. Well, joining me now to discuss this and other key points, Jose Almendras. He's the Secretary for Energy in Philippines. Thanks very much for being with me. Now, fluctuation in oil prices. What is a viable strategy for coping with this in your country?
Well, our reality is we're fully deregulated. There is no subsidy whatsoever for fuel, and we actually adjust fuel pricing on a weekly basis. We know that some countries do it daily, like the US does it on a daily basis. So our coping mechanism is really just to try to average it off week on week, to find a way to flatten the fluctuation so it doesn't happen on a daily basis. And yet these things can become very violent for us. There are times when populations, there is social reaction to such price movements. One of the things we did last year was we tried to target specific assistance. It's not a subsidy because we don't pay to a particular energy, not to a per liter consumption, but when there's a sudden increase in the price of fuel and the transport group is squeezed in as far as margin because they cannot yet increase the tariff for the passengers. We tried to intervene. We did it through smart cards, and we will continue to do so, but it's not a subsidy.
You talk about a coping strategy, but surely you need to come up with some more viable alternatives, or is it just hoping oil prices will go down?
We've come to accept the fact that as sure as the sun rises, fuel prices will continue to spike up. So we've launched a program called Fueling Sustainable Transport. It's about shifting out of the petroleum hydrocarbon-based consumption. Right now, it's transport that's our problem. Our generation is no longer attached to oil. We have geothermal, we have hydro, we're quite huge already, 66% self-reliant, 66% green generation, 53% renewable generation. So my problem is really transport. So we're saying, we're pushing for electric tricycles. I don't know if you know what tricycles are. It's our local mode of transportation, 2.5 million of them. They are the transport mode for our base of the pyramid. They are the transport mode for our poorest of the poor and in our most remote areas. We're launching a program with ADB to start fielding electric tricycles. We're shifting to nat gas for buses, nat gas for some of our jeepneys, also electric versions of our jeepneys. Overall, we're really saying we need to slowly cut down on petroleum consumption and start shifting to alternative fuels.
A final note, in terms of your switch, what type of cohesion is there across Southeast Asia to sort of cope with these price volatilities?
I think for countries that do not produce oil, that reality is the same. Singapore is launching its electric vehicle program. But for other countries which have an abundance of resources, the pressure in them is not as much as ours. So as far as cohesion is concerned, those that find ourselves in a similar situation, we are one. But then we accept the fact that some are oil producers, some are not.
We'll leave it on that note. Jose Almendras of Philippines, thanks very much for joining me here today. Rene Almendras, Minister for Energy of the Philippines. I'm Tara Joseph. This is Reuters.